If you scroll social media and see all these other girls making money online by selling digital products on Stan and you think that should be me, you're right, it should. I made my first sale on Stan literally just hours after publishing my very first digital product. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through my exact step-by-step process. And I'm showing you everything so you can literally copy and paste and use the exact same strategy for yourself to make your very first sales on Stan. Because I know you're so tired of watching all these other girls build their personal brands and sell digital products and just build these amazing businesses, and you're ready for a piece of the action too. Plus, later on in this video, I'm going to show you the ChatGPT prompt I used to make this entire process go 1,000 times faster. So be sure to stick around for that. So grab a pen and a notepad because we're building your Stan store together. So the very first thing we're gonna do is the most important part. Like, I have done so many Stan store audits, and this is something that a lot of creators miss the mark on, and if they got it down right the first time, they would be making sales so much faster, like from day one. And I say that just so you know to take this part very seriously. Like, don't skip over it and move on to creating your product and setting up your Stan store, because we need to do this first, I promise. So I want you to think of the person you want buying your digital products, like your perfect customer. And for this, we need to get very specific, because just like every other business on planet Earth, if you're trying to talk to everyone and anyone thinking it will help you cast a wider net and somehow pull out a sale, well, then you'll actually be talking to no one. No one's going to resonate with you because you're trying to relate to everybody. So let me give you an example to kind of hone all this in. Let's say I set up a Stan store and I create my first digital product, and it's an e-guide on how to turn your backyard into a garden. And wonderful, beautiful, beautiful product. But then we scroll and then you see 50 ChatGPT prompts on how to create viral hooks for Instagram Reels. And then you scroll and you see a masterclass on how to create a skin routine to make your skin all glazed up and beautiful like Hailey Bieber. Then you scroll again and now you're at a mini course on how to get a fat ass. Like, do you see what I'm saying? I don't even know, like, who would that be targeted to? Like a baddie, I guess? So the very first thing we're gonna figure out is who we want walking through our virtual doors and into our Stan store. And that means we need to know all the things about her, but the good news is we don't actually have to do any research. It's kind of like you're just making it all up in your head. It's like when you were a little girl and you played Barbies, or in my case, Polly Pocket, and you decide everything. You decide what that bitch wore, who she hung out with, what she drove, what's her dog's name, what's her trauma. So you need to know all the things about this person as if she was your best friend. And you want to get very specific too. And so when we think of our customer, we don't want to be super bland and say something like, well, she comes home and she watches TV and wishes she could make money online. Bitch, that can be anybody. Get 1,000 times more specific. So let me give you an example of what specific looks like. She comes home from working as a barista at Starbucks. She changes into her pajamas, puts on a face mask, turns on Love Island, and goes into the kitchen to make her girl dinner, aka chicken nugs in the air fryer. And while she's waiting on dinner to be ready, she swipes through Tinder and starts thinking about how she really fucking wishes she didn't have to go back to Starbucks tomorrow and make coffee for people all day. Instead, she wishes she could spend all day in front of the camera, creating content for her favorite brands, getting paid thousands to make these 60-second videos of products that she's already obsessed with, and she doesn't even have to post it to her own platform. She wants to take those videos and give them to the brands for them to post on their pages. That's how specific you should be. So hit that pause button and think about who we want our customer to be, and then come back. So now that we know who our customer is and who we want to attract, we have to create a digital product that solves one of her problems. And that might be creating email templates to help her confidently pitch herself to brands, an ebook to help get over her fear of rejection, or some kind of guide to help get her newborn on a schedule and eliminate all the overwhelm that comes with being a new mom. And whatever problem you decide to solve for her, it needs to be something quick. You know, it doesn't need to be something that like is gonna take her 30 days to implement and then she'll have the transformation or have her problem solved. It needs to be something that she can literally buy and solve that day. So for my perfect customer, the easiest problem I could solve was branding on the Etsy shops. Because when I first started my Etsy shop, I was so overwhelmed with the branding part because I was not a graphic designer. I'm not a Canva queen, or I wasn't at that point. But I wanted my shop to be aesthetic. You know, I wanted it to be beautiful. I knew how important that was as an e-commerce business. I would literally sit my happy ass on Canva for hours and hours just fucking with with the colors and the fonts and how to lay things out. So I knew that other Etsy sellers had the same problem. And in case this is the point where you feel stuck and you're like, I don't know what the perfect problem is, because I know I had that problem too, I'm gonna give you a ChatGPT prompt to help this process go 1,000 times faster, and you'll feel so much more confident by the end of it.
So when we open chat, the first thing we're going to do is use the first part of this prompt. It says, "Hi ChatGPT, I'm creating my first digital product for my stand store and I need your help. My goal is to create a product that gives my audience a quick win. Here's what I know about my ideal customer." And right here is where you will list all the things you know about them, who they are, their interests, all the details you have about them. I said, my ideal customer is someone who wants to make a full-time income on Etsy. It doesn't really matter what they currently do for a living, if they're working their ass off at a 9-to-5, if they're a stay-at-home mom, a college student, or just trying to figure out a way to make money online as a side hustle. She wants to have a beautiful aesthetic shop without having to pay a professional designer. She wants to be able to set up a shop that's full of products she created herself and get paid while she's out living her best life, whatever that means for her. She could be at Target, Starbucks, dropping her kids off at soccer practice, or grabbing groceries at her local Whole Foods. She just wants to build an Etsy business that keeps her paid and grows her bank account every day. Okay, so now before you submit this prompt, we're also going to tell Chat a little more information of what we're wanting from him. Now, based on this profile, I need you to help me figure out 1, biggest problem or pain point. What is the most pressing challenge or problem my audience likely faces that I can help solve quickly? 2, quick win product idea. Suggest a digital product idea that can solve this problem in a simple, efficient way. The product should provide immediate value and results within the same day of purchase. Because like I said earlier, it doesn't need to be something that takes like 30 days of implementation for her to actually have a result or see some kind of transformation. And then 3, why it works. Explain why this product will be a perfect fit for my audience and how it will deliver that quick win. And then we're going to send it off. And then immediately it bounces back with the Etsy brand kit. So done for you Canva templates, which it's exactly what I made. And it tells me what all it can include, why it works. Number 2, it could be an Etsy launch in a day checklist plus SEO caption templates. And then product 3, a 1-day product photo makeover kit. So it includes 10 Canva mockup templates for digital or physical products, 5 editable background sets to create cohesive visuals, and a 5-minute video training on how to put it all together. So play around with this and decide what your first product inside your stand store is going to be.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you exactly how I created my Etsy starter kit inside Canva. And this is the exact same product that I sold for $37 literally hours after posting it to my stand store.
These are the Etsy shop banners I created inside Canva. And honestly, I made shop banners. I also made these listing photos. There's also some Pinterest templates, some thank you card templates. Like there's a lot of Canva templates that I include in this brand kit, okay? So once we have our designs made and ready to be sold, what I did was I went over to the share button and I clicked template link. I copied this link and I would put it in my notes app just to keep handy so I didn't have to like constantly be opening this design and re-grabbing this link. Then what I did was I created another Canva template. I'm not sure what the size is on this, but just in case you're curious, it's 6 by 8 inches. And so what I would do is made these little like title text, like I just wrote out some text on like what is included in this starter kit, and this is all that's included. And then I would put a link I would drop the template link. So I would grab this link, copy, go over to this Canva, and paste. Done. And so now when we have all our links and everything, and you'll probably just have one, but I obviously did the most and have all these different products in this kit. So you'll drop it here and it'll become clickable when you download it as a clickable PDF right here. If you do print, it won't make the link clickable, but use standard and download it. This is the file that you'll take and you'll upload into Stan. When customers buy your item from Stan, this is what they'll receive, and they'll have the link clickable, and then they'll click it and be able to open the Canva template.
Now we're packing this up and putting it in our Stan store. This is where a lot of people get caught up, but I promise you, I'm gonna make it so simple.
So once you set up your Stan store and you create your account, you are going to click My Store and then scroll down and click Add Product. And so here are all the things you can possibly sell with Stan Store. You can do a lead magnet, collect emails, you can do coaching calls, courses, custom products, recurring membership, a webinar, a community, but you're more than likely, for this anyway, going to choose a digital product because that's where we can sell PDFs, ebooks, guides, templates, things like that. So we're going to click on this, and then this is what they're going to see on your storefront. So when people arrive to your store, this is what they're going to see when we get to this part. Okay? So to get started, we're going to do a thumbnail. Honestly, I just choose a picture of me most of the time. You can create this in Canva. Just use 400 by 400 pixels. You can use a stock photo. You can use a mock-up, a product mock-up of, like, say you had an e-guide. You can use the cover page for that guide as the thumbnail. I think it's the least important part, this box from that. The title. You want to make it super simple. You don't want to be smart or clever. As soon as I read this, I should know exactly what you're selling. So what I do is I go back to ChatGPT, and if I chose a product that he came up with, I'll just copy and paste the product name because the Etsy brand kit is pretty clear. So I'm going to get that and copy and paste. But make sure you're within 50 characters because that's your limit, okay? And your subtitle, this is going to be the little text over here to give further clarification of what this product is. And sometimes I'll just see people, when they create their digital product, they'll just be like, we'll deliver this right to your inbox. And it's like, this is a missed opportunity, right? Because it's 100 characters. It's a good amount of space. And you can give clarity to this product, and you want to talk about what they get, what's the result or the transformation, or what problem are you solving with this product. So with the Etsy brand kit, I would say something like, make your Etsy shop aesthetic as fuck, and you can throw some personality into it, okay? Because my target audience are like 20s, 30s, and they, that's how they talk, and that's how I talk. So I'm throwing it in there, but of course you don't have to do that. Make your Etsy shop aesthetic as fuck with these branding templates, with these Canva. I'll say with these Canva branding templates. And instead of aesthetic as fuck, you could say professional, you could say beautiful, you could say whatever you want. And then the CTA button, instead of get my guide, I say things like purchase now, download now, make my shop beautiful, or say make my shop aesthetic. Something like that, okay? Moving on, this is going to be the page that when they click the Make My Shop aesthetic, this will be the checkout page that they land on, okay? And it's going to keep the title of the Etsy brand kit. It'll show the price, and we can change that down here. I always end my prices in 7s. So for the description body, to move fast, because you could spend hours typing shit out and like making sure it sounds good, I would take my happy ass back over to ChatGPT, and I would be like, okay, I choose the first product, the Etsy brand kit. Okay. Now I need help writing the sales page copy. Remember who my dream customer is and write short sales copy that sells her on the Etsy brand kit. Use a friendly, empowering, and conversational voice. We're going to send this off. Okay. And then I will literally just take this, copy, and paste. This looks a lot better because obviously it speaks directly to our customer. It tells you exactly what you're getting and why you want it. But my thing is, I don't want to sound like a robot, and honestly, this is kind of boring to look at. So I definitely want to include visuals, and with that, I would grab screenshots, or I would go back and save these templates. I would save them as a PNG files, and then create graphics of them in Canva, and then also include them in the Stand Store landing page just to help it convert better. And then I also like to read through and change anything that sounds like very AI. I would just read through and revise anything that doesn't sound like you, or just say things like how you would say things. Once you have the description done, you've included some visuals, and it's all nice and pretty, we're gonna move down to the bottom title. This is the call to action they see before they start entering their information and everything. And I would say something like, make your Etsy shop unforgettable. And then I like to do like a little down emoji, and I'm not sure why it's not updating, but anyway. And this is where we would drop the file of the product right here. So whether it's a PDF, a PNG, JPEG, whatever, you would drop it right here. Or you could just redirect them to a URL in case you've uploaded your product to like Google Drive or something. And then the thing about Stand 2 is after someone buys this, oh yeah, we need to do almost forgot the banner too, which that's not really that big of a deal. I would just make a graphic inside Canva showing your digital download. So if you have an ebook or something, I would just do a spread of pages, like some kind of like very simple visual, because you're already getting more visuals inside the body. So the banner doesn't need to be like immaculate and absolutely gorgeous, because it's more important for the visuals on the actual landing page. So when you go to options, you can also edit the confirmation email they get after they purchase your product. So they already have this like very basic template in here. It's like, hi, customer name, thank you for ordering this product name. Here's your order. And then it links the files in their email and then signs off with your username. I like to customize this and make it sound a lot more like me, and also with the subject title too, just so it's more personalized. It doesn't feel like so transactional.
So now that we have our product in Stand Store, it's ready to be bought. This is when you let the entire world know about your new product. So I literally did the whole promotion thing in like less than 5-10 minutes. It really wasn't anything special. And when you get to this stage of, you have your product, but you just need to get more eyes on it so it could be bought, I really want you to focus less on creating content that's aesthetic and perfect, and just focus on the fact that you're posting content at all. So this is the TikTok carousel I created, and it landed me my first $37 sale literally hours after posting it. And I really want you to notice how messy this is. Like, I literally just took my iPad, I opened what I could on my iPad to, market the product, like the templates and everything. Then I took those photos, made a TikTok carousel, put some text on each slide to explain why they needed, each part of the starter kit. I started with a good hook to kind of call my audience out. So it said something like, POV, you got this Etsy starter kit, so blah, blah, blah. I can't remember. But if you were scrolling TikTok and you saw that first slide and you weren't an Etsy seller, you would keep scrolling, and that would be totally fine because, obviously you're not my target audience. But if you were an Etsy seller, chances are you would stop and you would swipe through the carousel and hopefully like the way the templates looked and went into my Stand Store and bought it. This TikTok carousel ended up getting 10,000 views. So I really want to reiterate that you do not need to post aesthetic content to make sales. Take it from me, because that TikTok carousel was so messy and I could do so much better today, but I'm so glad that I let myself be messy and just post the fucking content like no one gives a shit. Because after I got that very first sale, it was such strong evidence to me that, hey, I can do this shit. Like, obviously I'm already killing it on Etsy, but what if I started building a really significant income with Stand 2? And seriously, everything changed. I started thinking bigger, I started creating more and just showing up differently and just a bigger version of myself. This is what happens when you stop researching, you stop watching content on the how-to, like this fucking video, and you start taking action. But hopefully after watching this video and seeing that I made money with that really messy TikTok carousel, I hope it really inspires you to do the same and take action and just put yourself out there. And so if you have a Stand Store but it's not really making you money, you can grab a Stand Store audit from me. I'll personally review your entire setup, and if you want me to look at one of your offers specifically, you can do that on the form and let me know what you want me to pay special attention to. I'll tell you exactly what's stopping you from making sales. But if you haven't started your Stand Store yet, you can use my link to get 14 days of Stan totally free. And when you use my link, you also get access to my mini course all about making money on Stan. And in that course, you have really in-depth trainings on how to set up your Stan store to make sales, how to write out your landing pages. It's literally everything I wish I knew when I started on Stan. Don't let another month go by watching all these other girls build the life you want. So if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and if you have any Stan questions at all, let me know in the comments. I'm here to help you win big, okay? I love you, and I will see you in the next one.